Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty sad news over here because it does seem like PlayStation 5, basically users, are kind of getting a little bit of a shorthand of the stick. And while it's never actually fun to go and see and talk about, it's actually kind of showcasing a little bit more on the Xbox news. Going to talk about that because it's a pretty big news story, and I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. And as well, we also have a lot of other little random big things going on too when it comes to the gaming world. Some games that just came out already getting canceled, some other games out here just getting actually released and kind of teased, and a lot of other various things too. So hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We also do have the brand new Howl links down below. I think there's like 1 or 2 more days left for the reservations. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below, Target links down below, Amazon links down below, and let's go down into the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below as well. So as you guys may or may not know, there's a certain thing when it comes to Xbox called Xbox Game Pass, but as well, there's also another thing called PlayStation and PlayStation Games. I think most people would probably know this, but sometimes we've actually been seeing some big controversy of literal PlayStation games ending up on Xbox Game Pass, and this one is going to be no exception. It's actually also a triple whammy where it's happened before, and there's also a really big controversy back in the day. And if you guys are kind of curious what I'm talking about over here, it's in regards now to Sony's MLB The Show of 23, which for some odd reason now is costing $70 on the PlayStation 5. But if you also have Xbox Game Pass, or you just want to go pay the extra $10 for it, that means you guys could also literally go get it for free on Xbox Game Pass once again. And of course, this is also for the 3rd year in a row. Now, this one's kind of a crazy one. So if you guys have kind of remembered, maybe about one or 2 years ago, there was a huge big controversy in regards to the game itself, because the same thing happened before. And a lot of folks are kind of real upset about it because it was basically a PlayStation game. And if you're, well, a PlayStation customer, you usually would assume you begin the hookup, you begin the good price points, or if there is any type of deal, it'd be something on like rewarding PlayStation Plus subscribers or people who enjoy PlayStation in general. You would think at the end of the day that would be their go-to, well, scheme. But sadly, once again, that's not actually what happened. So, the shock and awe, once again, of this story has basically been going and talked around a lot. People know about it, people are upset about it. But now for this 3rd time in a row, for the MLB The Show games, which I also want to add a little extra context. This is also one of the bigger selling games out there. Like, you wouldn't believe it, but MLB The Show is probably one of the higher profiting games out there, especially in the PlayStation ecoverse. Like, I'd actually almost want to say top 5. I guess it might depend on who and where and what you're looking at and like the region, etc. But MLB The Show actually does a lot of big sales and makes a lot of money, both for PlayStation and as well, people actually enjoy the game. It's almost like a Gran Turismo. We don't really hear it talked about too much, but they're actually are one of the highest grossing games and also some of the most played games nationwide. So right now, once again, PlayStation users are upset about it. I'm sure I will be too. I'm sure like as the story gets more and more heat throughout these next few days, because this kind of came out today, and as well, I'm sure we'll see a lot more folks complaining on Twitter and other various sources, but people are upset. Because I myself am upset. Like, bro, like I have Game Pass right now. That's cool. I got it. I got it. I'll play it. But bro, what about the PlayStation homies? Like, I feel like they're just kind of left flat. Like, basically Xbox is getting the hookup, and kind of how I'm sure these deals work for MLB The Show. I'm sure they have a multi-year contract. I'm sure Xbox is like, hey, we'll give you $5 million, $10 million, whatever number it might be. Let's say you get 1 million downloads. Maybe like every download will give you $1. We're never necessarily like fully sure, because we actually haven't seen too many Xbox Game Pass deals leaked so far, at least between like a Sony and Xbox type deal. And well, it's kind of crazy because they're probably making enough money to justify this, so it's probably a big sale when it comes to all these games. So right now there is basically nothing on it over here for PS Plus members. Zilch, nada. It will be coming on the PS4 though, and for $60, once again $70 for the PS5 version. But once again, Xbox is going to give her free. Like, I just don't get it, Like, I understand it's a PlayStation game, and maybe the deal's just really good. Maybe the independent studio is able to go have the leverage, and they're thinking, hey, this might be better than us having to have, like, specific quotas or goals or whatever. I mean, it must have been a good deal. I mean, hopefully must, but I don't know. It's weird. But they just decide just to go and give it to Xbox once again. It's really strange. So Sony has said in the past that it's not sustainable to release first-party titles day one into a subscription service, but it's somehow weird because they're literally doing it on a separate service platform on Xbox. Like, it really is weird. So they basically, this is once again the 3rd year in a row they've done this. And while MLB is technically responsible for publishing the show on non-PlayStation platforms, the Japanese giant still wholly owns the developer too as well, and can't consider it a part of a PlayStation Studios portfolio. So just a really weird thing to keep the scene over here. Like, I just don't know just why. I mean, it's obviously money at the end of the day. Maybe they want to push for more of the microtransactions and they make more money on that one. But it's also kind of the same counter argument where an Xbox wants to put Call of Duty on PlayStation, and then they would also make the money on the microtransactions and everything else in between too as well. So I'm not really sure. This is kind of a little bit of a weirder story. It kind of leaves a really, really bad taste in my mouth, but it'll probably happen maybe even next year too. Maybe it's for microtransactions. Maybe the Game Pass money was just too good. Maybe the contract's good, or maybe PlayStation just is kind of like, whatever, it's sports, who kind of cares? Because I could almost bet your sweet patootie they probably would never want to go put God of War, Ratchet and Clank, or Horizon on Xbox Game Pass too. So it's just a very, very weird, strange deal, and I'm sure a lot of folks are not the happiest when you can go and get the same game for $10 on Game Pass and other games too when you have to go pay $70 for this on PlayStation. But give me your thoughts and comments on this one down below. Now, some other little interesting things too as well is also Rumbleverse. If you guys have actually missed this, Rumbleverse, which actually was kind of a popular like BR multiplayer type game, a lot of streamers, a lot of content creators were doing videos on it, sponsored content of it or whatever, apparently is actually shutting down. Now this is one of those like bigger games too. This wasn't like a small fry game. It just didn't really have too much of an active player base, which is probably why a lot of folks are like, when it comes to the game. But basically, Rumbleverse will be completely getting shut down here too as well, just pretty soon. Now, I kind of thought this game was kind of cool. Once again, it wasn't like Fortnite, it wasn't Apex, it wasn't like a big, long contender, but it's always kind of crazy just to get a game that probably had millions upon millions of dollars in marketing and development and server cost, basically go and shut down so quickly. So I think it's going to be slowly being delisted as time goes on. If any of you guys even checked it out and played it, leave a comment down below because I would love to actually kind of, know in the first place. Now, as well, if you guys kind of missed it to The Crew. The Crew sequel, which we actually saw this leak a few days ago, we touched on a video, apparently is actually coming even more closer. So this actually might be announced as of tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Basically, this was supposed to be The Crew, and then it was supposed to be a DLC, and now they're making a brand new game that might be getting released on over here. So, very intriguing to see this one. There was The Crew 3. This may or not be a brand new iteration of a pure Crew game, or as well might be the DLC as we talked about. I guess it depends on what they want to do for the marketing side. So basically, it looks like it'll be coming on the 31st of January 2023. The official account for arcade racer The Crew has effectively confirmed that the sequel will be revealed at 9 a.m., 5 p.m. GMT, presumably for PS5, potentially even PS4 as well. Well, of course, get the news, and I'll let you guys know on that one. So basically, there's going to be a lot of big news on this racing stuff. We're seeing a lot more games come out too as well, and a lot of the people are still assuming it might be The Crew Motorsport 2, but also maybe a few of the various games as well. But I think for this one, something like an Ubisoft kind of needs more games, and they've been slacking. So especially with all like the mediocreness when it comes to other games coming out soon, and a lot of Ubisoft canceled, and just everything else in between hasn't been really too good. So hopefully Ubisoft can get some nice big ones over here. Now, as well, we also been seeing a lot more news in terms of the VR. Now, if you guys have missed it, the PS5 so-called scariest game, Madison, is now coming over here to the PlayStation VR 2, very interestingly enough. We're seeing a lot more PSVR 2 news and announcements as it's getting closer and closer and closer, where basically we're saying it's already available on the PS5, but it is, and a lot of these games are getting ported on over to the PSVR 2. So now it's during Publisher Prep Games Showcase earlier today, we're now seeing more PlayStation VR games coming, which makes sense too, because don't forget the PlayStation VR is coming out very soon, so make sure you guys get your pre-orders on it in case you guys care about that. But it's always kind of nice to see the expansion and more people making games and everything else. This also was inspired by Outlast and PT and other various games too as well. Then like you kind of explore the game through a camera and you have a chance to see this too. So it's kind of funny they kind of give the game a 5 out of 10 over here, but I think any type of horror game in PlayStation VR 2, it's like the golden ticket. It looks good, it vibes good, and it's a lot more scary, especially if you guys are used to horror movies or games. VR is a completely different beast. And now as well, last but not least, there's actually even a cooler game over here too. We're actually now on a chance to see, this might be a little bit blurry on this just from Twitter embeds. Also a brand new skateboarding game, which hopefully you guys can see in a second over here. Stupid Twitter always does this, where they actually do have a PlayStation VR game now where you can have a chance to go and learn how to skate and do some cool skating type stuff. So while I said this would be kind of nice to see in higher quality, besides this being an absolute complete potato over here, maybe it's a little bit on the smaller so you guys can see it, but basically there's a brand new game called Perp Games over here, so like the publisher or whatever. So if you guys are curious on this one, we do have a lot more PlayStation VR games on the way, and I just can't wait to go play more games too on top of this. But if you guys want to give me your thoughts and comments down below, feel free to. I'd love to have your thoughts and comments as well. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys would like to follow. We have the nice little other stuff. We have the Target links. We have the Amazon links. We have the How links for the past few days. And of course, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications. I will probably have one more video today for a little comfy video, so be on the lookout for that.